on, Hungry Reader here. You ever had real good success with something and then try to capture that lightning in a bottle and it didn't quite work, so you tried it again and again? This, I feel, is what Mr. Baum's problem was with two-letter names for fantasy countries. I mean, there was the Land of Oz, and then there was the Land of Ev, and then there was the Land of Mo, and now welcome to the Land of Ix. Queen Zixi of Ix is, by almost all accounts, one of L. Frank Baum's best books, Oz or otherwise. As a matter of fact, Mr. Baum was so proud of it that when he got into the motion picture industry, he actually filmed a version of it called The Magic Cloak of Oz. Nothing about it changed, though. It was just Oz to sell some tickets. It all indeed starts with a magic cloak. A group of fairies led by Lulia, who may or may not be related to Lurleen, a fairy who, we will later learn, founded the Land of Oz. Lulia and her friends are messing around, having fun, and they decide to make a cloak. A magic cloak that will grant the wish of any person who wears it. Only one wish per customer, and you don't get the wish if you steal it. They decide to give it to the first unhappy mortal that they meet. This turns out to be a little girl named Fluff, recently orphaned, and she and her brother Bud are traveling with their mean old auntie. This is when two amazing strokes of fortune happen to the children. Fluff is gifted the magic cloak. Her wish is that she could be happy again for once. Bit of a waste of a wish, but... And Bud, without using the cloak at all, happens to be the 47th person to walk through the gate of the capital city of Noland just on the day that the childless king died, making him the new king of Noland. From penniless orphans to royalty in zero effort. Sorry, Horatio Alger. Their new friends, the royal counselors, all end up making wishes without knowing what the cloak does. This leads to them becoming a team of very well-dressed X-Men. One grows to be 10 feet tall, one can stretch his arm like Luffy or Mr. Fantastic, one gets a talking dog, and even their mean old auntie is a lot more cheerful once she accidentally grows wings. Now you might be wondering, if all this is happening in the land of Noland, what does Ix have to do with anything? Well, Ix is ruled, of course, by Queen Zixi, but Queen Zixi is a witch, and this is an interesting rule about witches that Baum had, is that witches are always old and ugly. Queen Zixi made herself look beautiful and perpetually 16 years old, but she could never look at herself in the mirror. So when she finds out about the cloak, the lands of Ix and Noland go to war, but the strange team of weirdos who made wishes with the cloak enabled them to conquer the armies of Ix, even the powerful Witch Queen. Now, Ixie is a villain of the story, but she's not the chief villain of the story. The big villain is the Roly Rogues. The Roly Rogues are a race of almost indestructible 6-foot soccer ball people who happen to topple off the mountain and end up invading the city of Knoll and taking it over. King Bud, who hasn't used his wish yet, decides to use the cloak to wish all the Roly Rogues away. But by now, the cloak has been stolen by Queen Zixi in disguise. But because it was stolen, the cloak loses its power. Once again, this wasn't a very long recap because there's so much to go into about this book. I would like to do a full-on version someday, so let's just have a little taste for now, just to meet Zixi. Rest assured that everything turns out okay, and most of the foolish and needless wishes are undone, although the people of Noland are left with a magic wallet that never empties of gold. That seems like a much more dangerous thing to have than a wishing cloak, but maybe